Back during World War II, Stalin had a female psychic. Hitler had what they call a male psychic. It wasn't a male psychic, he was his cousin. And Herschel Steinschneider was trying to get Adolf Hitler not to be an asshole. Because Steinschneider was circumcised, and he was raised by a rabbi and so forth and so and Hitler was his cousin, okay, but Hitler wasn't circumcised, and Hitler could pass, okay. So yeah, I know I've heard this before, and that he's part Jewish, okay, Adolf Hitler, yes, and Herschel definitely is, okay. And what happened is it's better to have a female psychic and all that. No, she knew how to manipulate. Like I told you guys, when Herschel goes and gets the mandrake root from the Austro-Hungarian border and explains to him, and he tries to sit there because Hitler was into ritual. He was into ritual and voodoo and stuff. And so Herschel sits there and tries to explain to him, this is from our roots. And your roots will come back on you, and you got to do this. And he goes, and when he told him about what was going to happen with the book of Daniel, with the ram and the goat, and he's not a goat, he's lying to you. His female psychic has him lying to you so he can outmaneuver you. It's going to happen if you do it, Adolf. And everybody's like, well, Hitler, yes. Steinschneider, okay, Jesus tried to talk the Romans and Caiaphas and Herod out of us going to the book of Daniel and then the book of Revelation. That's what we're supposed to do. That's our job. Okay. Let's lie and mass murder, or let's tell the truth and stop mass murdering. Ding dong. Herschel Steinschneider was doing what comes naturally from the spirit, okay, to try to explain to Adolf Hitler what the hell was happening, that we didn't have to go any further. Okay, that if he did not betray Herschel, okay, and held true to their Austro-Hungarian border Hebrew roots, they say Hitler was full of shit. That how I with my fist and we fought and all that because of bigotry and stuff. It wasn't that. It was Herschel always had to save his ass. Okay, Hitler was always static, start some, be some, and Herschel, and then when Hitler wouldn't eat chicken and wouldn't eat the food of the gypsies, Herschel always did. He always kept company with the gypsies. The gypsies loved Herschel, and Herschel loved most of the gypsies. Some of them didn't like him, because lots of guys are jealous. And the girls liked Herschel because he was a nice guy. Okay, Herschel Steinschneider is a good human being. Okay, he did everything in his ability to try to protect homosexuals and Jews from being mass murdered because they didn't have any laws that protected them in ancient Europe back in that time. Paragraph 187 or whatever it was, I can't remember what it was. But it was the thing with homosexuality, with Jewish, you were screwed. Once they found out it was in your lineage, boy, they could abuse the fuck out of you. Especially if you'd in on a venture and you owned land or had a house or whatever. You're a Jew, you're not allowed to own land, you're not allowed to own a house, you're only allowed to rent and then be the landlord. You see what I'm saying? You had to try to, if you were a German and you got caught doing like what happened with Gregorio Kez with that cow, you got in trouble. You don't give a Mexican a cow. They can't own a cow in Texas. Okay, so the sheriff came and took Gregorio's cow, which was given to him by a kindly German man. And then Gregorio got mad and said, that's mine. And by the state of the laws of Texas, no, it's not. A Mexican can't own a cow. Okay, after Glorieta. Okay, do you understand? You have the same problems in the New Mexico territory it was in Texas. Okay? That's the Ballad of Gregorio Cortez. It was very similar with the Jews in Germany. Okay, now homosexual, that was a completely different matter. You had to prove that they were homosexual. All right. The men got killed and their assets liquidated among their family. Okay. The women, that was a tough one. What they did with most of the women is they snuck them out of the country to England. Okay, I met those two women in Sierra Vista and Cochise County. Took me out in the parking lot and said, "You're like him, right? You can't go anywhere. We need you. We need you back. You're like David." And they were hugging me, the two homosexual ladies. And the one lady that was German, she didn't believe in me. Then I gave her the parable of Juan and Jesus. She went home and read it. She was the German lady that was jealous because she thought the Jewish lady was always flirting with me. She couldn't keep her hands off me. She was hugging me, and she had me out in the parking lot, and she was kissing my hand, and she was just loving me up. Oh, it's him. He's going to protect us from all the bad men. Okay. I was like, I didn't think you liked guys. Oh, I like you. Okay, they were both just hugging me and took me out to the parking lot, couldn't take their hands off me and couldn't stop hugging me and saying, it's him, right? And so I said, I'll be back in 1,000 years. It's no, that's not what it meant. And they were explaining that to me. They said, you're not going anywhere. I was like, oh, okay. The 1,000 years in Christ it's very complicated because it has a lot to do with scientific experiments that I'm not privy to. And the quantum computing, okay, it happens simultaneously. So 1,000 years from now, when we defeat Satan altogether, it's going to happen here too. Okay? As far as the tie down, there's obviously still pockets through quantum computing in the future that are still trying to hold on to what they're doing now. They know that's not happening, but they're addicted to it. And apparently that addiction still exists in 1,000 years in the future. Do you understand? Okay. And we're not exterminators. We're not, No Water came in and shot Crazy Horse in the face. Crazy Horse didn't come in. Every time Crazy Horse would challenge No Water, no. And Little Hawk told him, you need to quit doing it. You need to just let it go. Well, the thing is like High Hump said, you think I'm going to let the children be raised by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Gene Roddenberry and Josh Whedon? No. When the Wasichu come into camp, do you really think Steven Spielberg and Josh Whedon and Martin Scorsese and Ridley Scott are going to get up and protect the children from the cavalry soldiers and the guillotine, the Gatling guns and the... You think that? Think you're thinking? Okay. No, I'm not going to leave them manipulating them with scary stories and get them to do whatever the Wasichu says on this piece of paper we're going to do, right? We'll cease to be no more, and all our courage and our values and our beauty and our religion will be eradicated on the face of the earth by their myth and their money, right? So you guys got to understand this stuff, right? Now, Rockefeller's people did extensive research on all this stuff. And when they took me and he marched me around Sierra Vista and jumped in my head, and here's Catholic Social Services, here's the Salvation Army, here's all the Mormons. He hated them all. He especially hates the Mormons. The worst self-righteous spy. He'll sit there and he goes, here's the head of the Mormon church. He'll sit there all day watching your wife's sex life, which is bad because you're not doing it right according to the laws of God, and your daughters, okay, have sex with their boyfriends on cyber sex online because he's in the military and they're going to hell. Then he'll go home and kiss his wife and say, it's a good thing we're not perverts. Wow, yeah, it's a good thing they're not perverts. Do I sit all day and make sure that Russell Nelson and his wife are having proper missionary sex and make sure that his daughters and his granddaughters aren't masturbating online on Skype to help so that their Navy SEAL husbands don't screw around on them and they don't screw around on their Navy SEAL husbands? It's none of my business. If I want to go out on the weekend, it's none of your business, right? Essence Magazine, fuck you. Push it. Self-righteous hypocrites, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So, as long as people... Patrice and Punchy told me that, is people have things and they get through it and then they forgive and they don't hold it at each other's heads, and then they stay strong and love each other, for their kids and for each other, because they've been through more good than they have bad. And Chief Gilliard told me that anything can happen between any two given people. And I don't hold it against people. You just try to be as good of a parent and a spouse as you can. It's really hard when women abuse you and abuse you and abuse you and always tell you what they're going to do to you, and then you say, I know, because I had that in my whole marriage with his niece. She accuses me of everything, and I haven't done anything, and she spends more time wanting to have sex with the women she accused me of wanting to have sex with than I do. And then I try to have sex with her, and you want to have sex with her? Yes, I want to have sex with her. Why? Because she seems nicer than you and heterosexual. Okay. So yes, I'd probably rather have sex with her than you. Okay. You don't say that, but you're thinking it. And most guys do. They get assigned somewhere else. They go do what they want. They go to the Philippines. They get the basket experience. They get the boyfriend experience. And then they don't have to put up with their wife treating them like shit and trying to manipulate them with sex and control them with sex and tell them what they're going to do and how we're going to do it, or I'll take your kids and I'll go to the courts and I'll make you my money slave for the rest of your life. It's horrible what women can do with this fucked up system instead of living the ways of Abraham and Crazy Horse and High Hump and Tishna and Lozan, so real good people. When you're not dealing with manipulation through a system and through money, okay. Muhammad, if to cheat on a faithful spouse would be a fate worse than death. If you cheat on a faithful spouse, that's worse than getting hit by 100 stones and getting lashed by a whip 100 times. Which is, if the 100 lashes with a whip doesn't kill you, people throwing 100 stones at you, you won't die. Okay, and that's what he said. He didn't say you should do it. He said it'll feel worse than that if you have a faithful spouse and you betray that faithful spouse being selfish. That's a real prophet of Islam. Not those hypocrites on TV, hey, people put their head to bury her to the sand. No, just, she cheated on a man. Was he faithful? Okay, well then she should feel like hell and no faithful men will want to marry her. That's what should happen in a Muslim society or a Muslim group or a Muslim family or a civilization of Muslim people. And if she tried to leave him and he wouldn't, he threatened to kill her and she went with someone else, we would all know that, like what happened with Gilbert's daddy, Edna's, baby daddy, and me, I apologize, I didn't know, I'll kill you. Oh, okay. I'm not a 4'10" girl that just came out the shower that you can beat up. And he got she must have talked. No, my mom told me about guys like you. Mary Poop told me about you. Okay, guys, now you just hang in there, okay? I'll keep fixing the quantum computing. Patterns are consistent. Truth is truth. Lie is lie. Abuse is abuse. And kindness and gentleness and courage of kindness is real. So we don't need surveillance. We just need patterns of behavior, and quantum computing is following our lead. Okay, guys? So all the women that are connecting to me, women see better, okay? And we don't have to lie to it because there ain't no ram and goat in this book. Okay, guys, I love you. I'm a crab. If I lined him a lion. Crap. Okay, guys, I love you, all right? I'm not moody, no. I'm a nice person. You act like a bitch, I'm going to treat you like a bitch. You act like a bully, I'm going to treat you like a bully. You act like a nice person, I'm going to treat you like a nice person. Well, that's my mood. Okay.